On today's podcast, I have an extremely tragic and just downright heartbreaking story to discuss. This one is about a man who used Facebook Live to make a confession of killing his ex-girlfriend, who, by the way, was pregnant with his child. And then later on, he basically went on to gun down his ex-wife, who he had 2 kids with. So before we get into the details of this one, I just want to welcome you all to our podcast, Crime News Weekly. My name is Juju, and if you love or like what you hear, make sure to subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and hit that notification bell so you can stay up to date with all the latest uploads here on Crime News Weekly podcast. So to dive right in, this tragedy occurred on Saturday, the 11th, 2021. The person who committed this horrendous crime is Rajaee Black, who was 44 years old at the time. He's a resident of Baltimore. Pretty much what he did is that he used his phone to make a Facebook live stream confession. In that live stream, he confesses to killing his pregnant girlfriend, Labang. And when he was doing this, he actually was sitting outside of his ex-wife place, who he shares 2 kids with. And in that live stream, you hear him say, "Anyway, I just did something crazy. I just shot my ex-girlfriend in the head. Felt like a dream. I never thought I would be that guy. I can't go to prison. So the person that really started my depression and all of this is my ex-wife. So she's next. Then I'm going to do myself too." So seconds later, after he says that on the live stream, there's the sound of a door opening. And at that point, he says, "Oh, there's my ex-wife right now," he says. And then turning the camera towards her, he starts charging at her. And he says, "Today's the day." At that point in time, the video cuts out. And that's when he guns down his ex-wife, killing her. And then he turns the gun on to himself. So yes, guys, I mean, listen, when I first heard this story, so many things was going through my mind. I'm just like, what a selfish, self-centered, egotistical, controlling man that he must have been for him to commit this act, right? You know, I was looking at some details or trying to find some details on him, and the details are pretty revealing. And the reason why I feel like this man, Rajaee, was a very controlling one is because I found online that he has some court records on him. He basically have been tangled in a custody battle since July 2018. There has been filings basically nearly every month throughout the past 3 years. So that definitely says a lot. So this was between his ex-wife, Wendy, and himself. What else? There has also been several domestic violence cases listed online against Rajaee Black, with the latest one being issued in April 2020. Also, what I found to be very interesting was that there was a lawsuit put out by him. This lawsuit basically is about a doctor, which the lawsuit does not name. That lawsuit basically was him exposing a doctor who was allegedly stashing drugs in his locker. Right, so that's the claim that he made. And as far as what he was claiming about everyone else was that they knew that he was the whistleblower, and they started refusing to work with him. So as a result of that, he was fired in April 2020, according to the lawsuit. And what he says in it is that he was forced to risk his life by working a regular nursing job in New York at the height of COVID-19 so that he could provide for his family and obtain health care insurance. So there's that component of it as well. So for me, from my perspective, when I take in all of these things, controlling just jumps out to me. Like where, now mind you, I don't know personally this man, right? But controlling jumps out to me because it just seems like he was just losing control. I mean, he lost his job after making that allegation against a doctor, right? Then he got divorced from his wife, right? So he's now dealing with his ex-wife in court, trying to get custody of his kids, right? And then as far as his pregnant girlfriend, ex-girlfriend, I'm pretty sure he was just looking at that and seeing that he was set to basically experience the same type of experience that he's having with his ex-wife, custody battle for his child, right? So yeah, he must have just been really losing it, right? Losing himself in all of these situations. And yes, I'm sure mental health plays a part into that. I'm sure he was losing his mind, right? But again, it's just something in me. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if I'm wrong, if I'm right, if you agree, if you disagree. I just feel like he was just losing control. And because he wasn't getting things his way, then no one else would get their way. Right. And I think he actually did state that, like, as far as his kids go, like, if I can't have my kids, you're not going to have my kids, therefore doing his ex-wife in. So, yeah, I don't even know if those words are sufficient. Being, selfish, self-centered. I feel like a better term or better words to describe him is just wicked, evil, right? Yes, selfish and all of that, but just there had to have been so much hatred in his heart for him to do that to the mother of his kids, who, mind you, his two kids actually was in the car that he drove up in to execute his wife. They thank God was not harmed, but they were in the back seat waiting on him when he left the car to do that to his ex-wife. But yeah, they were there. It's just a level of cold-heartedness that comes with that, because you really did that, having your kids with you. Like, you are driving to your ex-wife's place and you have your kids in the back seat. So do you think he was thinking of them? Do you? Of course not. Of course not. It was all about him. Yes, he took his life. A very coward of a man, right? He said it himself. He did not want to go to prison. So he very well was aware of what he was about to commit and what the result of that was, basically going to be if he was to live. But he took the coward way out. So yeah, this pretty much was a apparent double murder suicide that he committed on that day. And it's just deeply, deeply disturbing, to say the least. Very, very disturbing. Girlfriend who's pregnant. Let's not forget that. Pregnant. A pregnant woman. He knew she was pregnant, and killed her. So yeah, there's to me, it's just a high level of just evilness, like, that was in this man, Rajaee, to have done what he did. Now, could this have been prevented? Could there have been some signs along the way? That's a good question. Let me know what you guys think, because, when it comes to domestic violence, it really calls for people from the outside, right, around someone who is experiencing that, to really be vigilant, to really show concern, to be, interested in another person, well-being. And, because I highly doubt that this just occurred out of the blue. There had to have been signs, there had to have been red flags. And I just feel like these two women were failed in this case. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I would love to hear your thoughts on it. Do you feel like it all had to do with his mental health? Or do you feel like, there's some deep level of insidiousness within him? Until the next one, guys, keep safe, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.